Oh my, nifanye hii kama sifanyi tena kudedeki. Bobo, I'm taking bongo rap to the next levels. Mwambieni yule mtoto moto huu haingii kitonga tachokipata ni wifi kwa nachokifanya katika round hii apati hata sale mana nimeanza na plan B. Young King flow zao za kitozi zimekataliwa, ni uchafu kama kinga zilizovaliwa. Mimi nataka kile kiti kilichokaliwa, sipendi mimi kuchana sana babu ndo nilipozaliwa. Sikia sasa mimi nazisaka chapa nikijikita kapuni na bonga na lamata, najitolea mistari kisha niingie chaka nikirudi na kamata na vipenda DJ choka sanchoka. Sina muda kubishana na vijana fake, ukiniona na tajiri basi napishana bank. Mimi na wanangu kama Samata na gang, huwezi kuleta stories za kimama mama bata point. OMG ipo, that's my dream team. Chocha rap bongo tulisha team. Matozi wana kujikuta wenda wazim, ndio unanidai lo minikuta na YG. Nishaikuwa na lala studio na umpepa kuche, sevi hamna shida ghetto mashuka meupe. Mama zako na niganda ganda kama kupe, baada hii session enda zako zenji kula pupu. Here come, marapa bovu na wafieka, ukiona bebe kali pona mimi nimejieka. Ushauri staki ujana nitowacha nikizeeka, na wala kisha nafungulia sound home theater. Yombe, calm down, relax, sit back. Mishabiki wa damu wa Msimbazi Simba, kwa kukinukisha nimelikalisha kimba. Panya paka kafika chaku kushauri chimba, fika mpaka ulipo, fuata pesa zilipo, piga pini pande zote, haleluya welipo. Blandi kubwa Filipo, sitishwi na vitisho, vina vimepangiliwa mwanzo kati na mwisho. Nafanya yangu, I got no fucks to give, fighting for my life to live. Nipo studio wana mwita weta lete cut to live. Shida yako weni wa kitabu mechakata tiz. Truth hearts, couple letter hand, I'm taking a shot for lease. Go my back to back, he's back to back, he's back to back. Throw it party to parts, keep it black in black. Coolest kid on black, kula poka na kuleta blah blah to tack. No mana nazid kufanya, nazid kusanya, nazid kuhanya, nazid kwaganya, mnanjada banya, na idea za chanya, mnaibia nkifanya igana hii. Wanachato nataka ni flow, wanataka ni kama before. Hawataki nikisanue jo, mimi nataka nizikamue flow. Seche paka wani kwa luwe low, mimi sinaga maluwe no. Kiwa nalani mimi niagiza do, sasa basi vya bule no share. Siku posti japper, shoppers, delo peji ina mambo mengi, wekuwa mpole. I'ma take you off for your birthday. Madada wa mjini bwana, usope gambe. Utasikia hiyo ngoma kombona pambe. Zangu mikwa piga pini, you gonna come back. You ya beat ya bobo, ngoma kambele. Yeah, here we go. Hili dundo madawa kulevya illegal. Sio wauni tunafuata pesa ilipo. Haya sasa kama unavyotona, here we go. Shpabi kama gari naika. Going speed like a Fosca. Preach like I'm pasta. I'm a superstar, don't you know my fault? Baby Bombay, city on bed, tuku on bed. Now my rapper wako bobo city gombe, city gombe. You're my slave with it, miso dangam city gombe. Ukishindo kutunza familia, ukiludi utakuta nobody's home. Na wanaojuza tamuzia nani, na pengine utakuta nobody's on. Sasa kwa wale wanataka vita, tutapigania wapi? No fighting zone. Kwenye crew yangu wana mweza nani? Salmin, Conboy, nobody know. We out here. Rooftop PNT baby. Couple, Toyo. Yeah. Petty money Rasta. Oh my.
Sun rising, hope you guys have been amazing. That is Young Lunya, playing right here on the radio of the 21st century with one of my amazing favorite freestyles from him. It's exactly 18 minutes past the top of the hour, and I hope your week has been fantastic. Wishing you a beautiful weekend ahead. Whatever plans you have, stay safe and stay healthy. Bakaribuni sana once again, JOBY in the house. A quick shout out to everyone with us on the YouTube channel, both of them, for those who are with us on BitChute, to those who catch the shows on a replay, either during the weekend or whatever time you get to literally catch up with the Black Hot Fire Network updates. I hope you are well. And so we are on Spreaker and Spotify. You can listen to the shows in form of a podcast in case you're not able to tune in every single day. Bakaribuni sana once again. Today we're going to be talking about how Kenyans, generally the African youths who are understanding what is happening politically, how they're refusing the new world global agendas, which we've seen, of course, recently. Ruto being one of the most discussed leaders. We've seen so many deals that this man is making or putting Kenya into so many deals that are going to be affecting us. And I love the fact that actually Kenyans are understanding this and they're calling him out for his actions, and also topping up on so many things that he's been doing in Kenya or in our very lovely country. So karibuni sana. Of course, we know I love the fact there's a video I was listening to early in the morning. It was talking about um, how the Gen Zs have changed so much that the previous two generations, that is since the Mau Mau actually, because that's the only true fighting freedom fighters or the people stood up for the country. That's the last time I'd say we had this country completely showing solidarity and fighting for their rights, fighting for their freedom. So of course, ever since, there's a video I was listening to, and this lady was saying, ever since, there's not been such a movement. We've seen such movement, but it comes or it's backed by fear. But the young people since 2024, the Kenyan young people, the Gen Zs, literally came with a different force, and this force is keeping this regime and majority in many African countries literally on toes, because people are demanding accountability, people are demanding justice, people are demanding actions on so many things that you've promised, and they want also answers of what you're not able to answer and why are you not able, yet every single day you're increasing taxes. So I do love that people are understanding that actually we're dealing with a generation that is so woke, and not only just woke but also educated. Because on a video I'm going to share today, there's this guy who's talking about the same thing I've been saying. Why this regime is not funding education is because they want a society of dumb people who cannot question, who cannot critically think. And that is the challenge you can see they are facing now with today's generation, which was very well educated through Mwai Kibaki's system. He brought free system of education. He brought so much benefits when it comes also to pregnant women, pregnant moms, and so much. There's so much that actually changed during Mwai Kibaki's time. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna cue that video as we continue, because I just love the energy Kenyans have. And sadly, I also feel pity for the young people also being used, on a daily basis or once in a while, who we call goons, how they are being used by the politicians, and yet you go back to the same poverty. I love how the other young people are in majority, how they are warning you guys, because right now, you can be paid 500 Kenyan shillings, 1,000 Kenyan shillings to come destroy peaceful demonstration or go loot someone's business who the government is looking for to destroy. But remember, you're gonna go back to the same poverty. You're gonna go back to the same communities of the people you're trying to actually ambush, or you've been paid to beat them when they're fighting for your rights, which is actually your rights too. The police officers too. Your time is coming. Your time is so coming. The energy in Kenya is really, really amazing. And I'm going to start with a very interesting video, which actually shows something I did share yesterday, or we were talking about it yesterday on the reaction time. How we can see the young people are saying, if you expect us to be on the streets, the tactics are changing. And that is what you're not trying to keep up with. You think every time people are going to be turning up to be killed. No, now we're going to come to your houses, and we're gonna deal with you, because you don't have full security every single night. You don't work with the convoys you keep on showing us every day, on the TVs, or we see on the videos every day in your house. When you go back to your house as a leader, it's you, your wife, and your family. So bet the young people are finding ways on how they can mobilize these houses. And that's why yesterday we literally had a less turnout on people who are on the street. It is not the way people actually expected it. And the police also, it was crazy how the police were just so dramatic, being deployed out, of course, Ruto's order, because he's so scared. But also understand, the same way this man is ahead of the Kenyan people's actions, the Kenyans also are way ahead, because we're understanding your tactics. The way you want to play mind games with the people, we've also understood the mind games and how to play with you. And that is just super something, you can't beat it up. But as we get literally to starting of the conversation, remember, I do love sharing amazing organic supplements we have. And I'd love to share some we have right here. Remember, you can get that by having our app on the Google Play Store. Black Hot Fire Network is the name. If you're an Android user, we are up and available. That is on the Play Store. If you're using an iPhone or your laptop, you can literally join us using the website link www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. And also remember, we are on Amazon TV and Roku TV, where you can catch up with the conversations every weekend or every now and then, because the shows are always re-uploaded. So ensure you have the app and grab yourself organic supplements. Stay healthy, because your health is your wealth. Don't be lied to by this, like the way we see these politicians always looting money, but they're not in peace. Like Ruto, you can clearly see this man is not in peace at all. So as much as you're stealing so much, you are not in peace. You're not healthy. Your health is not doing well. Maybe you need some Blackout Fire Network supplements, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. I don't know, but grab yourself some brain and focus. This does amazing magic when you talk about critical thinking today.
Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
But as we start with today's conversation, just a quick review on yesterday's demonstration and what took place. Of course, towards the end of the day, we have a number of people who are reported, of course, arrested. Yesterday, we had the cabinet secretary of internal security who said over 355 peaceful demonstrators, let me add that, peaceful demonstrators were arrested for no goddamn reason, just because they showed up, because the whole thing was just supposed to show up, be outside, nothing literally chaotic, people to go and lay flowers, where we had, of course, most of the innocent young people who lost their lives through police brutality. That was in 2024 and 2025 demonstration, where people actually just airing their opinions and practicing democracy. Literally, if this is a democratic country, something we also question, right? But yeah, people are just out to lay the flowers and show that they still value and remember the lives that literally these lives were not lost for free. They value how people were so out dedicated that day and fighting for their country, because this is nothing to do with Ruto completely. This is the young people. I'm going to actually cue that video because I love that video, the way this young lady was really talking. This is the young people showing it's not just about the finance bill. The demonstration was never just about the finance bill. The demonstration came, of course, with people airing out about the cost of living. You are adding taxes already on people already feeling oppressed with the current economic status and the bad leadership in different areas, not just through the president, but also the people working under him. We have, of course, the MPs, we have the senators, we have the MCs who have done nothing to the people who they are serving in different counties and communities. So Kenyans didn't just go out to demonstrate about the finance bill. This was bigger than the finance bill, but it also being one of the major issues. But take a look at what really happened yesterday as I give my point. So this is a thief. This is a thief. The guy on the red t-shirt is a thief, a phone snatcher, as a matter of fact. Now, this is the situation that we can see now. The peaceful protesters are calling out this kind of people because you're out there looting from people. You've been paid 500 Kenyan shillings or whatever you've been paid to go destroy peaceful demonstration so that the media, the fake media, because one true media currently, we only for once, I think in Kenya, we have one true working media. I mean, apart from Blackout Fire, but we have one of our very own in the 254. That is actually reporting facts, not only about this current regime, but so many things that are not working in this country. And Ruto is so mad, so bitter about it, that he's trying to figure out, if possible, how this media can be shut down. But apparently, it's owned by It's owned by the son of our second president, that is the late Moi, Arap Moi, who also served Kenya, or rather led Kenya with a very, you know, with dictatorship, literally. That's how he can call it. With dictatorship, the same thing we can see happening in Uganda and many majority of the African countries. Moi had kept Kenyans in a very, very devastating situation, but apparently the son has taken a different turn and took over one of the mainstream medias we used to know or we've grown up knowing, and now is exposing nothing but the truth. And Ruto is so bitter about it. But one of the reasons, of course, also why Kenyans are outside, because of the kind of action. This is not just even on a demonstrating day. On a normal day, especially nowadays, we've seen the rising of goons and thieves. They are in majority. There's been many videos circulating online from Kenya, especially peaceful places like Kilimani. You know, Kilimani is considered posh in Kenya. Places like Runda, places like Westlands, where we can see goons on motorbikes, how they are going, looting people's parts of the cars. Number one, that is something that has been actively happening. We have parts of the cars which are being looted, windows, I don't know how they call it. I don't know many parts of the cars. I'm about to land that, but the parts of the cars, including the windows, and even breaking the windows to the point telling you, give them everything you have, including a phone, including the money you have. And to the point where I remember there's a guy who actually even lost his bike. He said that the goons have become super pros now, that they're gonna order a bolt as a ride. It's like they're going somewhere, but it's all orchestrated. They tell you to take them on a certain place where there's like six other guys waiting for you. You're just going as a normal rider. You think you're dropping someone at where they're going, and then you take your money or they pay you and you go back to your normal business. But this guy said they looted. He dropped this guy, two guys, where they were going, and they were having a normal conversation. He could not even have suspected that they were thieves. Then after getting to the destination, other four other guys, now them with the other two being six, they came and took the bike from him, stole two of his phones, and apart from, before stealing the phone, they told him to put his M-Pesa pin. They sent the money to themselves and took all the cash he also had. So this is the point where majority of the Kenyan, especially the young men, because of lack of job opportunities. We've been talking about the differences, the imbalances of when it comes to women and men. It has become quite, I'd say, easy nowadays, and because of course also of studies, which has contributed so much, because when you go back then, our women or women in Africa, majority were denied free system of education, or literally education in general, right? But today you find that we're dealing with women like myself who have gone to school. We might not have gone to college, but still we got the major basic knowledge. You know how to talk English, you know what and what, right? So this of course has enabled now that, I'd say, balance, but also which has created imbalance, where women can go to work and the same as men, or even more than men, and which now is leading the boy child to be more oppressed, leaving them to the point of being jobless, and which is turning them into thieves. But let's look at this.
This is the part they are not telling you about June 25th. Let's start with what actually happened on the ground. By 11 a.m. on the morning of June 25th, Nairobi, one of Africa's busiest, loudest, most relentlessly alive cities, had gone quiet. Shops were shut, streets were empty, roadblocks sliced through major arteries of the city, and police officers stood guard like traffic conductors at a concert nobody attended.
Guys, this is Bunyala roundabout. We can't get into town. They said it's a normal working day, so I have no idea how we're supposed to get to work. Let me see if they'll allow me to go through. This is crazy, man.
Now, here's where this story takes its first sharp turn. Because just 24 hours before this ghost city moment, the same government had been on every platform telling Kenyans that June 25th would be completely normal. Business as usual. Go to work. Don't.
Exactly. And when only to wake up, most of the people, because yesterday, yes, we had people who are literally woke up early in the morning, especially the early risers, people who leave home by 5. We had so many people stranded waiting for matatus to only come figure out the matatu operators were told not to appear on the road. This was not a notice given publicly. This was actually a privatized information. Only an information that was passing through the matatu operators. Kenyans had no idea. Kenya took the note of you saying, or these people saying, yesterday is going to be a complete normal working day. But of course, people were tensed because of the current because of the previous demonstration, how they're gonna say the same, but it ended up being chaotic. I don't understand why they deployed the police all over Nairobi and also denying people now without matatus by using their own cars not to get to town. So many businesses actually were closed yesterday. Super closed. Of course, there's that tension because even for me in the morning, man, I saw the tension. It was really crazy. Like, it was quiet. Yes, people were trying to find matatus, but it's just looking not good. Police all over. I'm like, So it's crazy. Why are you panicking?
Panic. And everything is under control.
Thursday, as I've said, will be a normal business and school day. Our children are free to go to school. And
No. The children were in the apartment making hella noise, man. I was pissed off. The children were just there making noise. They didn't go to school. So what are you talking about?
people to go about their businesses. The Constitution guarantees the right to education and lawful means of earning a living.
And then morning arrived. And the very same government that told you to go to work
Exactly.
was the first to make sure you couldn't get there.
Imagine.
Oh, are you already in that?
And this is where it gets interesting. By the time June 25th arrived, the government had already framed how the day would be remembered. In the days leading up to the protest, the public was told that we should expect bloodshed, chaos, vandalism, and looting.
Some political actors have planned to use the protests for their political campaigns and are hell-bent on mobilizing goons, gangs, and criminals with all manner of crude weapons to cause mayhem by attacking businesses and innocent civilians.
Security forces were deployed in large numbers. The atmosphere of tension was built deliberately long before the first protester took to the streets.
The Director of Criminal Investigation is already investigating reported cases of individuals who are currently and actively mobilizing and sponsoring some Kenyans to take part in violent activities and will be on high alert tomorrow.
That is a lie. That is a lie. Because even yesterday's demonstration, actually, yes, it was hijacked by some politicians, some who actually eventually ended up embarrassing themselves and ended up showing Kenyans who they really are. Because they were trying to act like, oh, we care. Since the president doesn't care, we care about the lives that were lost in 2024, 2025 demonstration. No parent should be feeling this. The same people who are marching with the parents of the parents who lost their kids during those two demonstrations, they were left stranded. When the police started tear gassing people, they were left stranded. Imagine I'm a morning mother and I have like someone like Gachagua marching beside me. But the moment the police start shooting, Gachagua leaves the shit out of me. He leaves me and goes for his safety. So how am I safe in this country? This is just so crazy, man. Yes, we had some people who hijacked the demonstration but ended up fully embarrassing themselves. So still, it doesn't change the thoughts Kenyans have on this regime. And also, there's some alleged going around that on the recent budget that has been set aside, which we can see all these projects are not going to be done. There's a lot of billions of money being set aside for roads, for what? Who uses $1 billion to just construct one county's road? And it's not even the whole county, just one major part. I wonder, only our puppet politicians, right? But there's an alleged of 200 million Kenyan shillings which has been set aside not only for campaign but also to pay the goons, because understand the campaign season actually is now it's about to be conk. It's about to be really conk now in Kenya, where we're gonna see the money being given, 500, 1,000 bob in plenty. So that people will gather up, and the mainstream media that are full of lies are going to collect the numbers. Oh, the president is being supported. Hell no. Hell no.
So when June 25th arrived and the youth marched out, the government was ready for riots.
Imagine.
However, what it got was a procession. Young Kenyans walking through the streets of their own capital, marking the anniversary of a day that stole lives and shifted history, doing it unarmed, peaceful, and completely in control of themselves. The youth did not give the government the chaos it had prepared for. In fact, if anything, what we saw was youths cleaning streets, carrying Kenyan flags, and singing the national anthem, and refusing to hand critics the scenes of indiscriminate violence many had anticipated. Of course, there were moments that appeared designed to trigger a reaction and create the confrontation the government narrative had already built a stage for. Because a peaceful protest delivers a message, but a violent one delivers a justification for a crackdown.
Exactly. They were trying to, and they're the ones, actually, if you look at most of the videos, these police officers are always the ones trying to trigger the peaceful demonstrators. Nobody had no weapon. Nobody had nothing. These people had only flowers and flags. Only going to pay respect on the spots where majority of the young people lost their lives. But there's roadblocks, there's I don't know what, they started tear gassing on people. I remember I was actually watching another live stream yesterday of a certain guy, and he was actually, the police are on masks. He was literally arrested from behind. Someone came and grabbed him. Like, I even felt like he was tased, and I was in shock. I'm like, God damn, I hope he's okay. But he has been released. He has been released, and that was yesterday still. But they're the ones who are always trying to find ways on how to trigger the people so that they can react. And then from the reaction, you're going to find a justification of why people shouldn't demonstrate. We've learned your tactics, Ruto. Who are you tear gassing? Why? And you know, our police officers are the most uneducated people. Our police officers are the most uneducated. These are the grade 2 dropouts, I'm telling you. the most uneducated people. There's no police officer who can construct a straight English. For me, if I just go to the nearest police station currently right now and I speak English, these idiots cannot even construct a sentence. They can't. Picked from the village somewhere as a dropout because there's someone who has worked in the government or you have some connections, I can put you as a crook there. And how wicked can you be? Oh, okay, cool.
And that is why the youths did not take that bait.
Tiagas imeanza. Nataka mjue tiagas imeanza. Tiagas imeanza mbele pale. Tiagas imeanza. Naona Boniface Mwangi ako mbele yangu. Wale ni shaema. Chani Sunday flag. Tiagas imeanza. Tiagas imeanza na tuko na kina Boni hapa.
But here comes the part that nobody in State House wants to discuss.
I would like to commend all Kenyans for heeding the government's call to maintain peace and go about their daily activities. As I said yesterday, today was a working day like any other day, working and school day like any other day.
Lies.
Generally, I want to say that I commend Kenyans for the peace and going about their business. I also wish to report that no widespread cases of looting, vandalism, skirmishes, or injuries were reported in the country in relation to today's demonstrations.
While government officials were busy congratulating themselves on what they called the most peaceful anniversary, issuing self-celebratory statements about the absence of chaos, the economic damage of June 25th did not come from protesters destroying properties. It came from the government shutting down movement. Because when roads are blocked, workers cannot move. When workers cannot move, shops stay closed. When shops stay closed, business stops. And when business stops, revenue disappears. For instance, Nairobi County, through City Hall, has between 35 million and 60 million shillings on a normal working day in on-source revenue alone. Recent averages sit closer to 35 to 45 million shillings daily. That is through parking fees, market levies, business permits, charges that only flow when the city is actually alive and moving. However, on June 25th, the city was neither. It was locked, sealed, frozen. And in that frozen state, millions of shillings in daily revenue simply disappeared, all thanks to the government's miscalculations.
As I came from home, they've barricaded everywhere. I had to open my window at the Aga Khan to tell the police I need them to remove the stones for me to pass. I'm coming to Serena. I was not hiding. Again, they removed the stones at another barrier near the museum. And I told them we are peaceful. I'm coming to Serena. So there are such barriers. There is so much police presence. It is inconceivable that there can be any looting or any damage to property, yes, or any attack when there is so much police presence. May I thank police for making the day so successful. When you barricade roads, you are enforcing the public holiday. So heko kwenu, lakini pia muweke usalama.
Let that sink in. The government spent days warning Kenyans that the protesters would damage the economy. Then the government's own roadblocks damaged the economy. The government warned about disruption, then became the disruption. The government promised to protect businesses, then prevented businesses from operating. And the protesters, the people who were supposed to be the threat, marched past all of it with flags and songs and did not destroy a single property. So when you hear the government celebrating June 25th as a success, ask the questions they are not answering. Who shut down Nairobi that morning?
Ruto did. Ruto, and we can't be told otherwise. That man calls the shots of what should happen in this country. He calls the shots. He's the one calling the shots, and that's why he keep on changing and reshuffling these cabinet secretaries from different positions, because you want people who are Yasabos Negroes like him. You want people who can literally bow down to this dictatorship he's trying to form in this country, which is what the Kenyans are fighting against. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Sadly, you came at a very wrong time when people are so educated. Sadly. And I'm waiting to see where next year this country is going to be. That is just literally what I'm living for. I'm living for next year to see politically how are we going to move forward. Because this man is not going to become a president of this country again. And if he forces himself, like what we can see in Tanzania, Uganda, it's going to be a very chaotic election. And even way worse, probably, than 2007. Way worse. Because this is not going to be, it's going to be nothing to do with tribalism. Unless the way we can see some of them, like Ruto himself, trying to now push that Kikuyu Kalenjin bullshit. He's trying to push that Kalenjin Kikuyu baton of, oh, you know, the Kikuyus don't like us. We also don't like. Nah, this is nothing to do with tribalism. And shout out to the young people who are saying it. Kikuyus, Luo, or what? We don't give a shit. Ruto must go. Ruto and this system will have to step down of this country. Whether you keep on changing the US ambassador or whoever, Kenyans know what the hell is going on. That is just sadly, you came at a wrong time. Sadly. People are so educated. People are so informed. People are reading news every single day. People are the news as a matter of fact. People are the news. Man, this is what also was happening yesterday.
More than 300 people were arrested during protests in Nairobi on Thursday, police say, as Kenya marked 2 years since a landmark Gen Z uprising. At least 60 people were killed when security forces opened fire outside Parliament in June 2024 during protests over tax increases.
So we're here today to remember the Gen Z martyrs who were murdered during the Gen Z protests of 2024, 2025, and also 2026. And we are saying that the government should not hoodwink the public with compensation. We want justice.
The government has promised reparation, but this year opposition leaders walked with victims.
The only justice we can get Kenyans right now, and this is actually for all African countries that have been ruled and served by puppets, the only justice we can get is ensuring these crooks go to prison. That's the only justice we can ever get for our countries. Ensuring these people end up behind bars. That's just it. That's just it. This issue of compensating money with life, it's not going to work. And that's how we keep on allowing this system to continue. And I love the fact that Kenyans are saying no to that. They're saying no to that. We don't want your bloody money. We don't want your bloody money. Because it's bloody either way. It is. Stolen, looted from innocent people and so many things that you're doing to stay in power. We don't want your bloody money compensation anymore. What we want is these crooks, and I'm talking for all Africans, for the all of the continent, apart from the Alliance Sahel state currently, which is doing amazing, trying to do amazing, but of course the West won't leave them alone. The rest of the nations on this continent, the people, you need to understand the only way you can get justice is ensuring these people are ending behind bars. We have to ensure that. And now we can, if we can't do that, we have to set them on fire. That's the only way. Because if they can't end up behind bars, that means this system, the system that is built the same way globally, is protecting these idiots. And why? Because if we allow them, like what Kenyans are trying to fight. If we allow Ruto to come back into power for the second term, Kenya is going to soak in poverty. Oh my God, we're going to become, I don't know. But this country is not going to survive. Many people are going to go in poverty. And then add what is happening globally, economically, with all these wars. Hell no. This country is not going to survive if we allow this man to come back in power. So what we have to ensure is he doesn't come back to power, which puts him in bars, because that's the deal. We understand the deal so well. The constitution might be saying you're supposed to be serving 2 terms, but hell no. We can also impeach you. We can literally rule you out, or we can kick you out. There's so many ways of dealing with these people, but we have to be confident enough. We have to be fearless enough to understand our mission. It's either jail, it's either fire. These people are set up on fire and run for their lives, or don't. Or we kick them out. Let them go save themselves where they can, in those offshore islands they own, but not in this country. That's the only way we can get justice. Because we'll keep on enabling this system to remain in this continent if we keep on allowing, because that is the whole system, especially when it comes to Black people. When someone is killed, Benjamin Crump is running very quick to get some money. No justice. Why? Why don't we see this? Why people are killing, or people are behind all this genocide, murders, stealing, not ending up behind bars? Because we're enabling this system. Every time we accept their bloody money, we're enabling them to continue doing what they're doing, because they know, oh, at the end of the day, these people love money more than life. Or at the end of the day, all you need is just 3 million and you're good. And that's what I'm telling you, the Kenyans have understood. Kenyans know what the F is going on in this country. You heard even from the video I was sharing yesterday, the young lady saying, since this government wants to claim the young people who were killed during this demonstration was an accident, according to the Constitution, our law, the law says the only way or the amount you can compensate someone who has been killed by an accident and the government, they're supposed to be compensated 10 million Kenyan shillings. But you're giving 3 million, which is way less, double or triple less of what the Constitution or our laws says. That's how educated, or that is the generation on the group of people you're dealing with, and how educated they are. We know shit. People know shit. They have read things page by page. People have time. Understand, you're dealing with jobless people. They have time. And that time is allowing them to understand their rights. That's the difference. It's creating knowledge in them. And knowledge that is creating rage. Rage that demands revolution and change. So all this money compensation is not going to work. And all these old leaders who have been here in power for so long, I mean, I'm not gonna praise these 2, 3, Mother Karua, this guy, and Kalonzo. They've been in power for the longest time. Of course, they've been working with Raila Odinga, party that was believed to be, supposed to free the people from this system. But hell no. Hell no.
Families to protest a lack of transparency in the compensation program.
Definitely things have changed in this country. As you can see, we are now able to have protests up to Parliament Road. We are here, we have laid flowers. And this is because in 2024, a generation stood up and said enough is enough and demanded that action be taken.
June 25th has since become an annual day.
I always see this guy looks like Spikes, this guy here. He always looks like Spikes. Let me go back. This guy here, he looks like Spikes.
Action be taken.
June 25th has since become an annual day of protest due to ongoing frustration with President William Ruto's government.
I'm here today because we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to our country, to our ancestors, to those who came before us, to the youth who are murdered, here on these streets, murdered for the simple reason that they were asking for a better Kenya.
Three police officers have been charged in the deaths of the protesters.
Only three. Only three. It's more than that. We have many of these crooks who are walking out here and very well protected because we're dealing with a very unjust system. And it's going to continue being unjust if we keep on accepting money. But Kenyans are finally saying no. Now, let me share this video. This is also another interesting one. And then I'm going to share Yvonne Okwara's take. And let me actually share that one first. Let me share this one first, then share the other one, because this other guy talks about our poverty has been weaponized, which is, of course, the whole of the continent. We know that. And now they've been using, of course, these puppets who are currently in power to continue with the same poverty, oppression. This is literally a system built by white people who have never left, and they're using some idiots who know nothing. Some idiots who have done some things, and now they're finding ways on how white people can forgive them because the white people control their country, so you have to do their bidding, right? The poverty is weaponized. And then he talks about the limiting meaningful civic participation. And also talking about the system of education, which is being stripped away, which is not being funded, despite this government saying, oh, we are the government which has funded so much in education. Where? How? When? Since when? Do you know how many children we have today stranded at home with their parents? And this is how teenage pregnancies start, because we have a group of young people who cannot go to school. Now they're in adolescence, being touched here and there by, of course, boys or men, and also dealing with the society of men who have zero shame when it comes to even school children. This is how theft starts. When you see the young people, young boys being denied opportunity to go to school, and they have a stranded parent, and let's say even a sick parent, and sick siblings, or siblings who are supposed to go to school as well. What is the young man supposed to do? And probably being raised in a house of a single mother. This is how theft starts, coming from young people. I've seen it personally growing up literally around slums. I used to see it. A boy is going to become a thief. Do you know how many personally I've lost many childhood male friends literally because of being shot and due to theft? But if you follow up, you're like, God damn, how are they supposed to survive? I'm not encouraging theft in any sort of way, but in a country, in a system where there's no job opportunities, you can't go to school. Tribalism is one of the things that leads in many of the offices before you get a job. Or some other favors now men have to give their asses to. If you can't do none of that, or in a system which has not allowed all this to be accessible, you're going to end up being a thief. And the same the moment you become a thief, you're easy to actually be polluted mentally when it comes to these handouts of you being a goon. Or can we give you 1,000 bob? Then we go now destroy those peaceful demonstrators. You've looted from them. And then we're going to say them who are looting from you. This is Yvonne's take. I love this lady so much.
2 years ago today, Kenya witnessed something unprecedented. Thousands of young people, many with no political affiliation, no formal leadership, and no experience in organized activism, forced a nation to stop and listen. What began as opposition to a finance bill quickly became something larger. A conversation about accountability.
Exactly.
About trust.
Exactly. Because again, that is something I think people forget, but Kenyans are not forgetting anymore. This demonstration was just not about the finance bill 2020. That was in 2024, 2025. This was about already the oppression the Kenyans were facing and being put into more oppression. lack of accountability in many things, stolen funds, public funds, no accountability. Our healthcare system alone is not working. We have detained patients in hospitals and been held there for years as their bill keep on piling up just because our healthcare system is not working. Yet you have been paying monthly for the so-called social healthcare system. So where is our money? Our e-citizen only. We have billions of funds being stolen from the e-citizen. Man, nah, it's enough.
About governance, about a generation demanding a seat at the table in decisions that would shape its future. The images from that day remain etched in our national memory. The crowds, the chants, the tear gas, the chaos, the shock of seeing protesters breach the precincts of Parliament, and the tragedy that followed as lives were lost and many more were injured. More than a year later, memorials are still being held. Families continue to seek justice. Discussions around compensation remain ongoing. The nation pauses to remember. But anniversaries invite more than remembrance. They invite reflection. Because the question today is not simply what happened on June the 25th. The question is, what changed because of it? The protests revealed a deep frustration among young Kenyans, not just with the tax proposal, but with a broader feeling of exclusion from decisions affecting their lives. They demanded transparency, accountability, respect, a government willing to listen rather than lecture. 2 years later, have those concerns been meaningfully addressed?
No.
Has trust between citizens and institutions improved?
No.
Have we become better at listening to one another
No.
before frustration spills into the streets?
No.
Or have we simply moved on, waiting for the next crisis to remind us of the lessons we never fully learned? Because there is a danger that comes with the passing of time. Nations do not only fail through injustice, they can also fail through forgetting. The greater risk is forgetting the questions that were being asked. Questions about how power is exercised. Questions about whether public participation genuinely shapes policy. Questions about the relationship between citizens and the state. Questions about whether young people are seen merely as beneficiaries of policy or as partners in shaping it. Now, compensation where it is due is important. Justice is important. Accountability is also important.
Yep.
But these alone cannot be the measure of whether we have honored the significance of that moment. Because a nation honors difficult chapters in its history, not simply by remembering them, but by learning from them. Let me end by saying this. How we memorialize this day has less to do with whether one agrees with protests or not. It invites us all to elevate ourselves beyond hollow political slogans. And somewhere along the way, we have reduced even this conversation into competing political camps. If you support the protests, you're assumed to belong to one side. If you question them, you're assigned to another. But surely, a moment as consequential as June 25th deserves more of us than choosing between slogans. It invites us all to think beyond the William Rutos, the Edwin Sifunas, or the Rigathi Gachaguas of today. Kenya existed long before they did, and will certainly outlast them and us all. What we need to think about today is the space between memory and accountability. And I urge us all to resist treating anniversaries as moments of closure. They are checkpoints. Let June 25th this year, and in all the years to come, present a moment for us to determine whether the concerns people brought to the streets have been addressed.
Exactly.
Those are eternal questions that will be relevant today, tomorrow, and for generations to come.
Exactly. Because what has really changed? Though I love that it's called Yvonne's take. I always love her take on most of these political conversations because she's been one of the people actually who are supposed to be fired from this media, which is a fake media. Okay. This is not the media I was talking about, but she works there and she's one of the most, they call her controversial because she talks the truth, right? She's one among the people who are supposed to be fired by Ruto. Or Ruto threatened her of losing her job just because she came with a list after the president lied that he has all the list of the people who have been abducted, missing, and killed. When she came with the full list, she was warned. You should be careful. Watch what you're saying. Watch your job. If you love your job, watch what you're saying. But she never stopped. I just love her courage. She never stopped. And I always love her take. Because exactly, what have we learned? Are we going to keep on marching on the streets every year, come June 25th, every year? What we need to go back to is, yes, we've already lost lives. We need to accept that. Moving on is not the solution. Of course, there's accountability that needs to be held. And accountability doesn't come with compensation. We can't agree just taking money. That's the only way accountability has been dealt with. Going back to accountability, even before looking at the lives that were lost, what we are demonstrating about, is there any change? There's none. Because the truth of the matter is that bills, the things people are demonstrating about, all these things are into law today. Including, I don't know, alleging, based on, again, taking the president's take on most of the conversations, 7 years, presidential term limit. I'm suspecting. I'm not sure, but where there's smoke, there's always fire. So many things that actually the people died for, many were injured for. Today, they've been put into law and they're operating. That is why you can see some of the people had to actually put those 2 weeks police notification before going to the streets. Most of the people who are arrested is because they didn't have that letter to showcase actually you are supposed to be on the streets. Why? Because Ruto passed that into law. Before you demonstrate, which is part of our democratic right, you have to go to their nearest police station, give a 2-week notification that you're going to be on the street on this day and for what reason. Which democratic country operates that way? Which one? This is just crazy. And I love that question because what are we learning? We can't keep on having these anniversaries. We need to go back to the drawing board. The things we were fighting for, have they been dealt with? Has life become better? Is our economy getting better? Have lives of the people do they feel a little bit of ease? Or is it more hardships? Talking about school fees, because school fees is, man, I'm so glad I've finished paying school fees. School fees is skyrocketing as crazy. School fee is changing every time there's new things, new laws, new conditions, new demands. Now I can imagine how many people are about to be stranded come next year, especially the Form 1s, leave alone this year, those who are affected, because this effect of the funding of school has actually, I'd say it has been effective mostly this year. That's when you can see this year there's been school fee raise, parents complaining, a lot of things. So Kenyans, and this is to all Africans, because also Nigerians do the same thing when it comes to, they keep on doing anniversary for the End SARS demonstration that left or claimed so many lives in Nigeria back then because of police brutality. But what have you learned from that? Is police brutality over in Nigeria? Has it isn't, or is it the same thing? copy and paste again. You go to the streets, tear gas, live bullets. Go to the streets, yell, tear gas, bullets. What do we learn from all these demonstrations where lives are being lost? That is actually what we need to understand. We need to go back where we need accountability. Lives have already been lost. So how can we, from now and moving forward, ensure that accountability is being met by this regime? But listen to also these two people on this conversation.
A public service position. So the voice of dissent is good because it is reawakening the soul of the country. I think one thing I'm grateful for about this regime, and what thing they have succeeded in doing, is offering free civic education. Now everybody is woke about the constitution, about our rights, everything that needs to happen. But how do we begin to convert this civic education, this public service position? So the voice of dissent is good because it is reawakening the soul of the country. I think one thing I'm grateful for about this regime, and what thing they have succeeded in doing, is offering free civic education. Now everybody is woke about the constitution, about our rights, everything that needs to happen. But how do we begin to convert this civic education, this wokeness, these voices that are being branded as voice of dissent into action?
First of all, it is reading the political class and the old guards of our attention, because that is what they feed off from. We give them platforms to lie to us. We give them platforms to manipulate us. Because why exactly were they coming yesterday? You should have just stayed home. You came and you embarrassed yourself and you showed us who you really are. So it would be fast for us to say, hey, wait a minute, what's our worth as the citizens? Who are we in this entire governance system? Who actually has the power? And the sad part is we keep getting distracted as a people, and the people in power assume that they give themselves this power. Because we had gone for a meeting on 24th, yeah. And one of the directors of the police force was there, and she said something very concerning, that in the next general electioneering period, because we were having a conversation around violence, sexual-based violence on women around the electioneering period, and she said, as the police, we're taking serious measures. So during this election period, you will be in a crowd, you're 10 people, you're having a discussion, but one or two of you are policemen. And I asked myself, what do you mean?
That has been happening. That has actually been happening for the very longest time. And that's why I'd say, even recently, personally, I'm very careful where I'm airing my opinions, especially political opinions, because you just don't know who is listening. These people have become quite, I want to say smart, quite a little bit smart, trying to move the way white people move, where we have CIAs, and you don't know it's a CIA, you just think it's a Mzungu who is selling coffee and is poor and broke. Since when? Since when? Yeah, we have, don't get me wrong, we have some poor Zungus and all that, but that increase, Kenyans they already know. Every time we see Wazungu here just selling coffee, people know that's a CIA. That's a CIA. So the same thing, I think we're having some internal CIAs, mini CIAs in Kenya, who are wearing civilians, and then they come to a crowd of, especially they know, in a crowd of young people and who air political matters. They come and listen, and the next time you're abducted. It's crazy. Today I woke up to someone I know who I've grown up with. He's missing, and I'm like, damn. Since when did you become a political, criticizer? Because I know that guy from being a thief, being honest, but I think he changed. But today I woke up to so many pages that I follow from most of the people I've grown up with from my dad's side, from my home side, and the guy is missing. He's been missing for the last 3 days. He was abducted and has not been seen. Because that's what they're doing. and they're following you. If there's something personally I'm always scared of is because I love walking. I think I've become very confident in walking, and especially when I'm going home. I'd rather take a matatu when I'm coming to work to save time, to arrive at work on time. But when I'm going home, I don't mind, walking. And even if I take a matatu, it's just basically to the stage and then going to literally all the way to my place. It's always super dark. There's no street lights there. I might bump into a lion one day or a tiger, but hell no, it's not gonna happen. But my always biggest fear is having someone following me. That's always my biggest fear. Because it's not like these people don't listen. We might be shadow banned, but I do believe we're being listened every day. Through these phones, through everything. So yeah, they have police officers now. They've been doing it. They're not even waiting towards election, lady. They have been doing it.
So you have infiltrated the citizenry so much that amongst us, we don't even know who are police and who are not. It is important to note the NIS does not have a database of who works for them. The NIS does not even have an oversight board on who actually oversights the NIS. So what we are seeing now, a whole president tweeting about a media house, because a media house keeps showing the public that, hey, we're being played. We're pawns in a chess game. Hey, wake up. You're sleeping too much. They're playing with your minds. And he doesn't want that. Yesterday, media people were being tear gassed. They were being bitten. One was seen actually being stepped on their private parts by a policeman.
Imagine.
What are they trying to show? That the fourth estate, the one that actually is the fourth in the governance system and deserves its freedom, guaranteed by the Constitution, is actually being suppressed. You're coming for social media, you're coming for traditional media. Who are we left with? So my question is, what does this government presume of the citizenry? Do they think we are fools? Do they think we did not go to school? Do they think we cannot see how they're manipulating the Constitution?
They do. And I go back to the same point you gave at the beginning. They're trying to put us in the same bracket as the previous generations. That's what they're doing. That's the assumption. And they're too old. They're very that much old. Yeah, they're very much that old to not catch up. But they're really that old that they're not connecting the dots. It's too late. And that's what I'm saying. Ruto came at a very wrong time and the wrong generation. And I think the most energetic generation, energetic. So yes, they're trying to presume or assume, whatever the term is, we are the 2 or 3 previous generations that they have been playing mind games with, and that is dying. They are in shock. They're in shock. If you guys look at Ruto, again, I keep on showing these images. When he was campaigning and now, 2 different people. This man is stressed. You can tell this man is not okay. He's not only facing pressure from the young people who are the majority in this country, but also facing pressure from the white people who is licking his ass. So that's why he has to ensure with a very a tight iron fist, he comes back as a president. If not, that man is stressed the fuck out. He's gonna go to prison. He's going to. I was saying this, I think, amongst some group of young people, some young men here at the studio outside, and we're just outside, and I was talking to them, and I was like, man, you guys know Ruto is gonna go to prison if he doesn't come back to president. And they were laughing. And one of them agreed with me. He's like, because of the Hague situation. I'm like, yep, at least you know something. But the rest of you laughing, this country is about to burn down. This country, and the man in power, of course, is very evil. Very, very evil. But also understand with the majority. And the only way we can get Ruto out or make him go to prison is ensuring he doesn't come to power. God damn it. That's the only way. That's the only way. This assumption of thinking you're dealing with a generation that is going to settle with everything, what you've been doing for years, for decades, it's dead. This is the most rebellious generation personally I've seen. Okay, of course, maybe I have seen. The millennials are not like us. The millennials are nothing like us. That is just the truth. The Gen X are nothing like us. And that's just the truth. And the Gen whatever, the rest ones, they're nothing like us. Shout out to Kendrick. They're not like us, literally. Because if you're talking about rebellion or being rebellious, I've seen it from my own self. The moment I said, man, F you as my parent, and then I'm not going to stay, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm a grown-up. Shit. I was like, hell yeah. And then I started seeing the same pattern following. I was like, damn, did I do the worst mistake moving out of my parents' house? Man, I'm such a bad kid. At some point, I used to judge myself, being honest, for, because of suffering. I was suffering like crazy, hopping from one house to another, from one friend to another, from one relative to another, sleeping hungry, sleeping in the streets, thinking about becoming a street child. Now, like, you're not going to become a street child. You know what you want with your life. Everything is going to fall into place, but just not now, okay? So you got to, be patient. People are wicked. There's some who are good. I met some good people who treated me nice, like the sister to my dad, the late sister to my dad. She was kind of nice to me. She used to treat me well. Yeah, until she accused me of being a thief. And I was like, man, to hell with you too. So yeah, I started seeing the same pattern of now other people and telling story. I think for me, I just never had that confidence. I always ask myself why I never had that confidence to go on social media and vent about my stories and all that. But again, the universe has ways of preparing you on how you can tell stories. Because if I look at now how I want to tell maybe my story to other people faced my problems, I don't want to tell it that way, like I'm venting or ranting. I want to tell it in an educative way, if it makes sense. But yeah, the pattern of people now walking from their houses, as teenagers, talking about how their parents are so bad people. I'm like, I'm not the only one. There's so many of us dealing with really crazy parents. And people are saying no to that for once. Because our old generation is your parents should kill you and you die there and keep quiet. You should be forced to marriage and that should be okay. You should marry an old man because your father and your mother didn't work during their young ages so that you can bring them money. Are you crazy? Go save yourself. I'm not here to save you. So excuse me. And that is what exactly she's trying to explain. They think we're so stupid. They think we're so uneducated. Hell no. Kibaki did well with us. And he knew. He knew. It's like Kibaki knew. Kibaki really wanted to change this country. But I think because of the white people, of course, being on his toes too, he used a trick. He used some few tricks to enable or favor the citizens in many sort of ways, in many different type of ways. What these other two regimes have not done. What Uhuru Kenyatta did is try maintain, because he knew, of course, if he changed this immediately, it would have also maybe be what Ruto is facing. And of course, Kenyatta is quite a little bit smart because the dad being a president, maybe how to deal with the people, how to handle, because that's been Uhuru Kenyatta literally. He knows how to deal with the people, how to handle the people. This man has never been helped anywhere. There's never been Uhuru must go type of shit anywhere. He's the most loved, I'd say. Him and Kibaki are the most loved president of this country. Despite, of course, the corruption, because people know the corruption. You don't put the corruption aside. But we can't compare with this idiot. This man is scared of going to jail. Ruto is so scared to go to jail. Oh my.
Supplementary budgets and use of Article 223 to rob us using supplementary budgets. They don't think we are seeing how they're taxing, like as a company, if you have money in your account, they're calling it unclaimed profits. Apparently, if you do not give it out as dividends, they're calling it unclaimed profits. Do you know what they're going to do using that? If you're an individual, you're interested in a political campaign, or you're interested in finding a political coalition, they will come for your money and tax it or actually come and tell you that you have a tax case, because this has been passed, that once you're caught with, rather, you're accused of having a tax case, they will hold your money until the case is closed. No, this government does not do anything by mistake. They're always 2 steps ahead of us. When did they buy these cars that were producing the weird noises? But there was the cyber security on date 23. There was the communication from Parliament that they have approved a cyber security center to be built in Kenya. And last month we saw Murkomen and DIG Lagat in New York being taught how the Americans are doing surveillance. But I'm asking myself, you want to surveil us like a first world country, but you do not want to give us a police system similar to that of the first world countries. The police in those first world countries work with body cams. They never close their faces. They're never policing plain clothes. The police have badges with their names on them. So you want to surveil us like a first world country, but you do not want to give us the protection and the observance of the rule of law like a first world country. We're breeding anarchy. What happens when the citizens actually decide that enough is enough?
It's going to happen very, very soon. We say in Swahili, there's a common phrase in Swahili. Chuma ki motoni, yeah? Chuma chake ki motoni. I don't know how to translate that in English if I'm going to do it well, if it's going to mean the same thing. Chuma chake chi motoni. Ruto's iron is somewhere on the fire, being heated, and it's going to be injected straight to his ass, to the core, because he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready. Oh my God. He's so scared. That's why he's even telling people during the election, people should not do what? Record videos while voting. What are you so scared of? What are you so scared of? You don't want people to celebrate the elections day? You don't want people to celebrate or go live showing that they have voted? What are you so scared of? See how skinny this motherfucker and how ugly he looks? How stressed? So disgusting and ugly. Crazy, man. But listen to this too.
You're willing to kill to stay in power. You're willing to rob to stay in power. Kenyans are loving, peaceful people. When did we get here? You brought us here. Shame on you. All of a sudden now, government, you give money. All of a sudden now, you want to compensate people. It's so that you can be able, you're trying to clean yourself from the mess. Is that how you clean yourself? What happened 2 years ago? Why couldn't you compensate them 2 years ago? You should be arrested for saying that. Ati Murkomen, are you that weak? And raping women. You should be killed. And I say that with capital letters. Killed and forgotten.
See? You see? You see? You see? You see it? You guys see it? It's gonna be, oh my God. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. I can't wait. Today, there's not even running in the village because, back then, every time we have elections, people used to run to the village. The village is not safe too anymore. So I think I'm just going to be in my house. Or if I'll have extra change to spare, I might literally take a trip to Tanzania. For real. But I'll see. Or I'll just be in my house taking some nice, warm black tea. Cook my pancakes, my favorite thing to do every morning. My sun-side up eggs. And watch the TV. Literally. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know. Because come next year, you hear the tone? You should be what? So it's man, Mr. Ruto, Dr. William Ruto, you call yourself. It's either you peacefully accept the loss of this election because nobody's voting for you. That's a sure bet. That's a sure bet. You can buy as many IDs you want. But the fact remains, the Kenyans don't want you, the president of this country. You and the system that is keeping you in power, you have to go. So it's either you resign peacefully, and if you decide not, it's going to be chaotic. It's either you flee the country, because this is leading to revolution. This is not even demonstration. This is revolution. The Kenyans are talking. And it's either you're going to be killed, like you said in Capital. And not just you, but also your fellow crooks. 3 options you got. 3 you have.
And we will defend this nation against you bastards. Even common sense. Which one is better, Mr. President? Let me advise you what you need to do in this.
You see, common sense. These people, I keep on talking about men, but anyway.
Now the opposition is trying to capitalize on this because they want seats and popularity. They want to look like we are with the people. You have never been with the people. Exactly. You have been with yourself, shameless.
Exactly.
These kids are talking from the ghetto. It means when he comes out, they have no children. They have no what. They are willing to die. You are the fool because you are wiser. Avoid the problem.
And still, most of them have children, and that's why they are bitter. Let me tell you the life of the ghetto, my friend. The life of the ghetto has rage, okay? The life of the ghetto gives you rage. A good example for me, man, the moment I lived in the slums, I would say that was the most worst. I mean, I've gone through it, but I think that was the most mentally traumatic, and physically traumatic. I would say emotional because I kind of gained weight at that time. Actually, very crazy. I don't know why, but I was eating good because my auntie used to feed me good. For real. But the environment was really crazy. That gave me rage of wanting to have my own space so bad and choose where I can stay. The ghetto is crazy. The ghetto is so noisy. The ghetto is dirty. You walk, there's feces everywhere. Peace, everywhere is smelling peace. Food, you can't trust the food in most of the places. You have to have one specific place you buy food. You can't just buy anywhere. People are dirty, using dirty water. There's no water too. The life of the ghetto gives you rage. It gives these young people rage. Because what do you mean I need to live all my life this way? My parents have lived that way. Actually, my grandparents have lived that way. My parents have lived that way. I have lived that way. Now I have a kid. You want to tell me my kid's life is going to be the same as mine? And that's why we also have that bigger of an option, because there's a statistics showing, data showing how the Gen Zs don't want to have kids. Because number one, we're looking at the economy. I don't want to have a kid and I'm stressed about the rent and that someone is making noise in my ears. I'm so sorry. I'm not ready for that mental trauma. No. I don't want to have kids, yet I myself, I'm living on a hand-to-mouth situation. I'm trying to find out I can literally have ugali to survive me for a whole week. You're talking about having some diapers. Are you crazy? In which economy? And how much are diapers today? Let's talk about that too. With the expenses of diaper and pads going so high, I should have babies? Oh, hell no. Hell fucking no. And pardon my language, but no. Hell no. I'm not going to see myself sinking in more poverty and still have a baby to come sink in the same poverty. And the people know you have money. People, the generation is so educated. Just step down. If I was Ruto, I would just peacefully resign. Oh my God. I would just peacefully resign. But you are encouraging your crooks to tell us the Constitution says the presidential terms is 2. Huh? The Constitution also says if a leader is not performing, they should be impeached. They can step out. They should be kicked out. Have you read that part of the Constitution? Oh no. The Constitution says the presidential term limits are 2. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So you want to follow the constitution when it comes to something that favors you only, not the majority. Enough of the bullshit. People are tired. People are tired.
Now, is William Ruto transitioning from a flying president to a lying president?
He's always been a flying president.
Or is he simply both, a flying president who lies? This is a question that Kenyans themselves sought to find an answer to in the past few days. And look at what they discovered in our weekly satire as compiled by KTN's David Mothoka.
See how he was lying to us, being carried by the wheelbarrow here, lying, I'm a hustler. I was always riding a wheelbarrow, selling charcoal and eggs. This is one of the biggest dairy farmer in the whole of this Kenya. Actually, do you guys know that Ruto is the biggest dairy farmer in this country? The biggest. Literally passing the Kenyattas. Ruto owns, I don't know how many cows, but this idiot is pushing for us to inject or to inject our cows with some vaccination. We don't know where it is coming from. This idiot has one of the chicken biggest farmers. This is the biggest distributor of eggs in this country. So when you see the price of eggs going up, it's not in vain. This idiot is benefiting himself and the family because he has ensured his family. Of course, we have other egg distributors, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying Ruto is the biggest. And do your research. I'm not talking from talking. Maybe some people have surpassed him right now, I'm not really sure, but that has always been the known history. I'm a wheelbarrow rider. I was selling eggs and some smokies. Are you mocking people? Are you mocking Kenyans? You are mocking Kenyans. That is what you are doing. Because, you know, most of the people who have small jobs, they are actually smoky and eggs sellers. And because those are the most growing fast street businesses, because Kenyans love street food. We have a whole event called the Kitchen Street Food, which happens every year. Kenyan street food, because I love street food. I love street food personally every day. I'd even cautioned myself of not eating street food, but I found myself eating street food on Wednesday. I'd cautioned myself because of some things I've been seeing online. I'm like, man, I'm not going to be eating anything meaty in the road, but I still found myself eating it. And later I was like, damn, I hate that shit. And I said, I'm not going to eat this shit again. You know, it's crazy, man. But hey.
There is a famous Kiswahili methali that goes, mjinga akirevuka, mwerevu yuko mashakani. And President William Ruto seems to know it all too well.
Na ndio mimi nimekuja hapa kuambia hivi, maneno ya kudanganywa wajinga waliisha Kenya, na wajinga hakuna Tana River tena.
From Tana River, we climb the slopes of Mount Kenya.
Kuna stadium hapa imetusumbua sana. Hiyo stadium imejengwa karibu Yesu anafika kama bado haijakamilika. Sindio?
The stadium in question is Ruringu Stadium that lies at the heart of Nyeri County, and this was President Ruto earlier this year.
Kabla ya mwisho wa mwaka huu, hii stadium tutamaliza.
Lies.
Nimeleta contractor mpya. Contractor amefika na nimempatia warning. Sindio? Ya kwamba mpaka hiyo stadium ikuwe complete. In a couple of months.
It was not the first time that the president was shifting goalposts. This was Willie in 2017.
In Nyeri,
Willie.
the president gave...
They just called him Willie. This is just so crazy. They called him Willie. Auntie Willie. Oh my God. That is just so funny. But shout out to KTN. Shout out to this mainstream media. I see people are praising the media so much, because for the first time ever in history, we have a media that is not scared to talk about the truth. This is one of the medias that was being shut down during the 2024 demonstration, 2025 demonstration, to the point where they went to actually the main whatever is, and they switched it off because it didn't. Ruto said you should stop airing, but they continued airing. So he sent his people all the way to Limuru, a very cold ass place, so that they can come and switch down the stream completely, so you can stop airing the demonstrations. Oh my God. Kenyans are tired. I mean, I love the spirit of this country. I love the spirit, the energy the people of this country have when it comes to change now and political change, which we understand. This is guiding and ruling all our lives, including come many years, including come many generations. Man, I love it here. But you know where I love it also next, as we literally wind up with today's conversation, is South Africans who are crying for foreigners to come back. Foreigners have left now. We can't sell products, no goods and services going around the country. You know, foreigners have left, and my husband is a foreigner. I have children. Who do you expect to feed my children? I can't take care of my own children alone. I need a man. I need my man back. I need my husband back. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And not yet. It's about to get worse and worse and worse. So we have some fruit vendors, tomato sellers, orange sellers, onion sellers, well, all of them. They are losing their goods because foreigners are not there to buy. You know, they're saying this has affected foreigners leaving. The foreigners must go, as affected their business. In their country goods are now spoiling and they need help.
The ripple of effect of foreigners must go. Look at the amount of spoilage. Spoiled oranges, because there's no foreigners to buy. More spoilage. It's getting bad.
The bananas are rotten. That shows even you idiots don't like anything to do. Like, don't you guys eat fruits? You guys don't eat fruits like that? Shit. You guys don't eat fruits like that? Like foreigners were the ones eating fruits? Huh? Call your brothers. That is the comment section. Call your brothers. Exactly. Don't South Africans eat vegetables? Exactly. That's the same question I was asking myself. Like, don't these people eat vegetables? What do you mean onions, tomatoes, oranges are rotten in your own country? Don't you guys like to be healthy? Like, every thrice a week you drink some juice, fresh juice. You guys want to just go and buy white people stuff? Huh? Is that it? And then you have your president here talking nonsense. He is the contributor of this xenophobic behavior based on what I heard from this statement. Listen.
President Cyril Ramaphosa warned against a June 30 deadline set by vigilante groups for undocumented foreigners to leave, calling it an attempt at destabilizing the country.
South Africa cannot address migration alone. Through SADC, the African Union, and bilateral relations that we have with many countries, we will work together to tackle political instability.
Through SADC and through the African Union, two non-working organizations that don't serve these countries. Huh? So those are the same organizations you want to use to talk about the matters affecting other African people in your country, because you can't As a grown-up man with balls and chest, you can't stand up and talk about the behavior of your people. Huh? You need the African Union and the SADC because of the relations you have politically, so that you can address what is already affecting your country economically. You be mumu. You be mumu.
Conflict and economic hardships that drive people to leave their homes.
See, this idiot, this grown-ass man acts like a child here.
And to come
Look at
here.
this. Look at this one.
We've made it clear that every person
Look,
within our borders
dancing stupidly. What is dancing helping you with right now? How has practicing, what is it called? Zulu, whatever. How is it helping you right now? Go dance in front of white people. Maybe they can give you some jobs. You know, they can buy some fruits. Dance as you sell your fruits. You know, that might work. Try that.
must be here lawfully. We have also said that responsibility for enforcing our laws rests with the state and the state alone.
South Africa has been on edge following weeks of sometimes violent xenophobic unrest that has left at least 3 people dead.
Nah, the number is more than 3. That's a lie.
According to official sources,
there is no place for racism in our country. No.
There's no for racism. Racism? Racism? Yo, he's crazy.
Place for sexism,
Racism.
for xenophobia, for Afrophobia, or any other form of intolerance. As government, we have put in place security and other measures to deal with.
Security has been put on Asians, of course, the Afrikaners, and all those people. No on Africans like Nigerians, Kenyans, Malawians, Zimbabwe. Nah, not even their own people. Because remember, we had a teenager who was killed 2 weeks ago by their own people. So please.
Any attempts to destabilize our country, whether by citizens or foreign nationals, and we will not tolerate any attempts to destabilize the country by anyone.
You are destabilizing your own country. That is what you're doing. But you're busy blaming other people. But do you know who white people are blaming? Let me show you.
African leaders are corrupt. African
leaders. Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
people are lazy.
Dr. Howard Nicholas, whose video previously, I think 2-3 years, many years ago, the video keeps going viral, where he said why they keep on stealing from Africa, why they'll never stop stealing, you know? He keeps coming back and telling you how you Negroes of leaders, how corrupt you are, while they'll keep on stealing from you. Oh, okay. So your country is not being destabilized by other Africans. You are destabilizing your own country because as a grown-ass man, you can't even talk the truth about your own country. You need the African Union, the fake SADC, which is not working. That's what you need to fill your ego of xenophobic behaviors. Duh.
African leaders are corrupt. African people are lazy, less able.
No, the African people are not lazy. There's just no opportunities. They're not lazy. Let's go back to the first sentence. African leaders are corrupt.
And what they always try and do is deflect attention from the real reason. The real reason is Africa had to be blocked on the industrialization path. It had to.
It had to. Huh? Did he just say it had to?
And the reason, and this is the real resource curse, is because Africa has the resources, and if Africa uses them, Africa will quickly become an advanced continent. And if one thinks of Africa as an advanced continent, the whole geopolitical world is going to change. It's going to be turned upside down. The established powers don't want this.
Exactly. And that's why I go back to the same thing I've said, even how we can deal with these corrupt people. It's 3 ways. Either vote them out, and if they refuse, that of course leads to revolution, not demonstration, revolution. Resign peacefully after you lose an election. But what they always do is want to kill people to justify, I'm the gorilla, I'm the King Kong, you know. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. You go back to the same thing I've said. Either we vote them out and they resign peacefully, and let's forget about you. And of course, not just forget about you, but go to jail. Go to jail also, which is the second option. You must be charged. You must be held accountable for everything you've done to oppress the people. And if not, the third option, the other man said, KILLED in capital. Or flee the country before that happens to you. Go live in those offshores before the white people take them away from you. Yeah? Go enjoy the little benefits of what you've built before the white people throw you in jail. Because that is happening. The pattern has always been the same. I don't know why these idiots don't get it. The pattern is always the same. They use you, they get rid of you. They're not gonna keep you there. As a matter of number, you're getting old. Shit. They need some other new, not that old, but freshly old, freshly old blood and boots, you know, some booty. Yeah. And some fresh throat. Yeah, if you're getting what I'm saying. But that has been my conversations for today. South Africans, you're going, it has not yet affected you. You guys are just getting the, you know, the sprinkle of it. You know, we've not even done the icing before the spring. We've jumped way too quick, you know, but we're going to do the whole baking. We're going to make sure the dough is well done. Give it some few hours until it raises itself, you know. Then we put it on the oven. We have the first layer, the second layer. Depends on how many layers, you know, you want. First one, the third, the fourth one. Then we do the cream. Then we do the icing and the little sprinkles on it. That's what we're going to do. That's what is going to happen to you. Sadly. Just like Ruto, sadly. Wrong timing. Wrong timing. But that's been my conversation for today. I've enjoyed. I hope so have you. But shout out to John Mosquito Jarake, who was Ali saying, who was that cave female talking about our country. I know. Take it easy. I also saw her yesterday on those, because she was the loudest on those demonstrations somehow. I don't know why. I'm like, man, you need to go back, because you're the one among the people who are making this country suffer, because you white people have the best benefits in these countries. Where you are in the world, the system favors you, you know. But shout out to Jiba Jabba as well. Hope you're doing amazing today as well. Hope your week has been fantastic, you guys, as well. Keith earlier was agreeing, saying exactly, Joby hiding amongst the people. Yep, that is something I picked, I think, since especially the previous demonstration last year, because that started happening. But also there's something that happened to me a certain night. If I can remember the incident, I don't know what led to that, but what came to my head and the people I was with, we snapped quickly like, damn, these are cops and they're following us. And they're following us. Like, because it was really late at night. I don't remember what we're doing. And then this guy just comes randomly, is asking for direction at night. At night. How do you ask direction? What, you don't know where you're going at night? You just walked out of your house and then you meet random people, you start asking for direction at night. Now, like, nah. And immediately it hit me. I told the gang, I was like, man, this is a cop. And I'm telling you, this is a cop. And we gotta check. Like, this is a cop. And I don't know the intentions, but personally, the first thing every time I see anything suspicious, of course, I think about my job. I'm like, shit, I'm a political criticizer, literally. Based on our democratic system, I'm not supposed to be talking about politics. So what if? Always put a lot of what ifs. What if they finally, what if? So I'm always very conscious out there, like really, really super conscious. I just don't air anything anywhere. I try as much as I can, keep my mouth shut. literally. But Jib also says that is who throws them the first bottle exactly. And exactly, that's what they're doing here. That's what they do to you, kid. And then Jiba says chopping dicks stepped away. What? Yep, they do that. I mean, it's a long history known, looking at how the British colonial system, how what they were doing to our men. I think that's the same type of system. Not think, but that's the same type of system that now we have our police officers practicing when it comes to now dealing with men. As a matter of fact, what is always alleged after abduction, most of the men who have been abducted, they'll come back quiet and silent because of that torture. Your genitals have been completely, properly tortured. Yeah. So most of them are always like quiet. You'll just see a man who was arrested very boldly, comes back looking very different. Like it's like someone has taken something out of you. It's just always crazy. But Keith adds, we already know you don't want to be told what to do. Men, never, ever, ever. I'm gonna be rebellious for life. For life. And even if I'm ever to get married, my husband has a lot of job to do and a lot of trouble. Yeah, but not part of my program. But Jib also says that is the FBA gene coming out of Joby. Can't tell my wife nothing. You see, is she a Sagittarius? I bet she's a Sagittarius because Sagittarius are just like, I don't know. But if you also know yourself and you're a no nonsense person, you're just not gonna agree to everything you're being told. The times you consider what you're being told, there are times you're like, nah, man, to hell with your BS. And then Jiba says a bank account is a news profit. That is Kenya today. Exactly. I've never had this shit like this. That is Ruto. And that's why you can see why people are so mad, because there's so many things, so many new laws being introduced that are not even making any sense. You're saying Ruto should go to Johannesburg. Well, he's a kwere there. Maybe might be accepted as a kwere. So we wish him the best. We just don't want him here. And then Keith adding that no shit, because the slums of Africa are inhumane and there's no way I'm living in that shit. Man, I was really traumatized. Trust me. I think I stayed there for like, let me see. June. I stayed there for like 4 months, because a month after I decided to leave, because I'd already had enough of that life, I decided to go back to my dad's house again, because that there was a little bit more comfortable for me than, you know, in my auntie's. And then a few weeks later or a month later, she passed away. She had blood pressure, and she used to sit on the heat a lot, which one day it struck her just out of nowhere, and then she lost her life. So yeah, that was really the most traumatic point of my life. One of the most traumatic, because I've had many traumatic journeys or episodes of my life. And then Kid says that's everywhere in the world. No one can afford to have children. Exactly. That is so true. It's, hey, shout out to those who are having babies. Shout out to them. Shit. Man, I can't. I can go crazy. I'd go crazy. Oh, man, I'll go crazy personally. And all that crying. Oh, no. Hell no. Nah. Kid says nobody gives up power, Joey, just because they are unpopular in Africa. Most African leaders are hated, but they're still in power because them and their families get to loot their countries. That is so true. So here it's gonna be, if he can't give it out peacefully, you can hear the Kenyans, and I've not even shared majority of the videos that I was supposed to share because of time literally running out. But yeah. KILLED in caps. You had them. That's what they're gonna be done. That's what's going to happen to them. And then Jabba says he is probably that damn Wallace hero. Man, I'm not sure. Maybe they inspire each other. So who knows? Who knows? And Kid says, and I'm not eating non-power. I'm not eating non-power that shit. Good luck to you, Joby. I don't want worms in my brain. Well, man, I love me some street food. I'll never learn my lesson, no matter how many stomach aches I have. I just love street food. I love street food. I'd I'd pick not really street food every day over cooking, but every time I have a choice of not cooking, trust me, I'm going for street food or food that is made outside. That is just me. I'm not gonna, if I don't wanna cook, I don't wanna cook. I'm gonna buy food outside. I'm gonna regret my choices later. So that's it. And then Jiba says they ought to dump him out of the shit pile. The cake has not yet arrived. The lady told me there was some complications sadly, but she should be on her way. I just texted her to see how far, if she's on her way or how far she is. There was some complications on her end yesterday, so she was not able to come today on time, but she should be on her way, I do bet. And then I also see you're saying that this is what happens when you get a moron and don't understand your economy. I agree. No, Joby, vegetables and fruits are expensive. We can only afford ugali, pap. Hey, that's why they are fat and unhealthy. That's why you can see they have this. The men are so unhealthy. Oh my God. Who likes fat men? I don't. And shout out to the ladies who have been saying it too. If you're fat as a man, you have a problem. You have a problem. Because why are you fat as a man? Why are you just fat? Like, why are you fat? You know, it's crazy. But Juba says that makes no sense. Okay, kick out foreigners. Well, pick up the dog. Damn bottom. And then Keith says they say they are locked up, that Zulu warrior. I hope so, because he's married to a Zimbabwean lady, so I don't know what is even crashing about. He should start with his wife if he's really xenophobic like that. Says exactly, Joby, go work as a tour guide wearing that shit. Shout out to the good South Africans who found out if it's Israel that is behind all this shit, just like I said, and says exactly 100% the same pattern. Nelson for president. Yay, that's what's up. Hey, I'll be very bad if I become a president. I'll be very bad. I'll be very, very bad. Male rape is traumatizing. Yes, that also happens. No shit, they have to eat that starchy shit. That's why they're fat. Exactly. Yeah, his wife is Zimbabwean. Yeah, the wife is Zimbabwean. So I don't know why he's not xenophobic to the wife. But that's why we come to the end of today's session. That has been my time this morning. Wishing you a beautiful one. But we're coming back in a few with the Rhythm Scoop Show. So join us as we talk about more news of entertainment, maybe some politics based on what we have on our conversation. So have yourselves a beautiful rest part of your morning. Remember to subscribe in case you're here for the first time. Hit the like button, share with your family and friends these conversations. Let them stay aware and educated about the facts about African countries and the politics and the politicians. And also ensure you download our app. It's an app and available on the Google Play Store for all Android users. If you're an iPhone user, you can join us using our website link, www.blackoutfanetwork.com. And also remember, you can donate anything of your choice through our app. That is the Cash App, the $ Mr. Blackout Fan Network. You can also Cash App me. No, you can PayPal me. You can PayPal me. But anyway, we also have, of course, a donation page on the app itself, the last page where you can donate anything of your choice. We do appreciate your support every single day. So much love, and have yourselves a beautiful weekend. If you're not going to be able to catch up with us on the next shows, have yourselves a beautiful weekend. But we're coming back with the Rhythm Scoop Show. And later, of course, we have the Africa Today Show as we talk about Trump, the Dookie Bookie. Is it called the Bookie whatever? But have yourselves a beautiful morning. Peace, and I'm out.